What's up?
Here.
Oh, and I see Reg is here anyway, so I guess we could. We'll have him there too.
Just take me out. Take me out.
You can live. You can live, Reg.
Gonna fucking take you out, man.
Yeah, we're not gonna take you out, man. We want you. We want you alive.
1 second. 1 second.
Gonna pop a cap in your ass.
Reg, what time is it? Where are you, and what time is it where you are?
I'm in Edinburgh, Scotland, and it's 3:05 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, because me and Lex, because I'm stupid, I thought it was going to be in the morning, and I thought, for fuck's sake, this is going to be shit, because I wouldn't be able to talk loud.
I thought it was too. Well,
yeah.
How stupid am I? I Googled it and I still got it wrong. So it's my fault too.
I just Googled it on Zoom calls, and the cross-reference, and it went 3 o'clock, 10:30. So that was cool.
What site do you go to check the times? Do you just Google different times?
I just Googled it.
I literally Googled it.
What did I put in? Time difference, New York and Scotland.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay. It's so crazy.
Or London.
I'm sure it's been said before, but it's so crazy that you can just go onto your computer and basically type in any question you have, and pretty much the answer will pop up.
And it's amazing the CIA have all that information to give you.
Facts.
I've turned into Alex Jones. The gay frogs.
The gay frogs?
Yeah, Alex Jones and the gay frogs.
You don't know about the gay frogs, Ralph?
Is that the name of his band?
Fucking great.
It's one of his classic rants. He's literally screaming. It's in all the compilations of Alex Jones going crazy. But and you know what? By the way, it's true. It was true. They were putting some stuff in the water that were making frogs turn gay.
Yeah.
So, but from my understanding,
turning French people gay, that's terrible. And racist.
Very European of you.
And xenophobic.
I don't know that we know that's. I've never heard anybody call French people frogs. Is that what they're called?
Really?
I hear it. I hear it all the time because I hang out with some French people here. Yeah.
It's a very Brit thing. It's a xenophobic Brit thing. Because they fought each other, Napoleon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wasn't it more? I mean, I heard that it's because they literally eat frogs. Is that as silly as it is?
I think that's probably what it's based. It's a bit like calling German people krauts because they like sauerkraut.
very uninventive. Very uninventive.
I know it's not very. It's not very clever.
I would have called them. If I was going to get racist, I
was borderline thinking of racist jokes as well, which is not nice. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. There you go. So what's happening?
This is it.
Are we on? Is this it?
This is what we do. This is what we do, Reg. This is very low production.
Is this it? I'm gonna go off and do some hoovering. This is boring.
What's a hoover? You just vacuum?
Yeah. Do you use the word hoover, or it's a generic word for the vacuum cleaner? It's like calling all pens a bic.
Yeah. Or
so we call any vacuum cleaner a hoover.
It's really funny that your accent even makes the word vacuum cleaner sound like a profanity.
Yeah,
vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, Reg, can you say Puerto Rican for me right now?
Puerto Rican.
Oh, dirty! Don't ever say that again unless I
Puerto
give you
Rican.
Hold on 1 second.
Reg, how do you know Lex?
Yeah, I was going to talk about that, but I didn't know if it was my turn yet.
We jumped on it. Sorry.
Am I holding the talking stick now?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, I know Lex because I've been doing stand-up for about 20 years, but I was doing it as like a prop act, yeah? And in my mind, I've got some notes so I can remember what I was going to say. In my mind, I thought I was George Carlin, Bill Hicks, Bill Burr, and Dave Chappelle. Yeah. But in actual fact, I was Carrot Top and Gallagher. But
They
in
had
my
careers
dream,
though.
in my dream, I thought I was going to be like a sophisticated stand-up. So I've got quite a few stand-up road comics. Craig Campbell, Glenn. These are all Canadians. Tom Stade, Ro Campbell, Glenn Wool, and all these guys. And I thought, I'm going to go to Asia and be a road comic. Yeah. So I went and met Lex up at the Corsan Comedy Club. I did about 8 shows there, just walk on, what they call open spots, yeah? It was particularly bad because it's difficult doing fucking shows for
It's a tough room.
The fucking way it, and also it's been an older guy who doesn't do any, I wouldn't say I don't do PC shit. I wouldn't go for that at all. And I was a bit naughty about transgenders. That was fucking, I particularly tumbleweed on the room when we lady boys were doing.
You know what? You're being hard on yourself because you had some really good nights too. There was a couple brilliant nights.
Well, I did 8 shows and I probably died on my ass on 5, I think. But anyway, that's how I met him. And there was Stephen White as well. Steve's great.
He's great.
Is he back home now?
He's back in Chicago. Yeah. Actually, we got to get him on here. Yeah, I haven't had. But he's doing a podcast himself as well. He's got a great YouTube channel. Steve is how you SCTEVE or SCHTEVE. But great content.
And also met Brian Hayward. Brian Hayward? He was a great fucking comic. Canadian guy, lives in Bangkok. But that's how I met Lex. And I kind of vibe with Lex because he's a good guy, and Steve as well. Because I was out there with a load of what I would consider quite professional comics, right? And I felt like a total cunt, right? And they kind of took us under their wing to help.
I think you're funny. I think you're very funny, and
no,
also
I am. I'm a naturally funny guy. I know that. I really do believe that. But in front of a real paying comedy audience, it's a fucking different animal, completely.
True. Yep. Yeah.
Talk about it. What makes it different? What makes it different, Rich?
Yeah. What makes a difference?
Yeah.
You've got to be pretty structured. And I don't like that much structure. I like to fly off into different things. You know, I can work a crowd. I can work a room. Yeah. I've done a lot of MCing back in Scotland.
Yeah. I think too, you were put in a tough spot because you're getting such a little amount of time, considering, it's tough.
Who I was, yeah.
Yeah, especially in that room when you're, when you were here, it was pretty packed, right? I think there was mostly good sized audiences, and and John's a little tough he won't give you a lot of time if you're not just killing right off the bat. Yeah, so he was a little conservative with the time. You never got a chance to get in your flow, but. I'm glad I got to spend time with you because I think you're brilliant. I think you're very fun.
We had some fun.
Yeah, and how did you start? You started MC. You said you were MCing. I know you were doing You did music. That's what most of your career was throughout.
You were
your
a
life,
rapper?
right?
Predominantly a musician. Yeah.
You were a rapper?
No.
Oh.
No. Currently, my current material is Latin, blues, jazz.
Sweet. Yeah.
Well, how come we're not getting some of that too?
Because I want to play it professionally and sound good. I don't want to sound scratchy and shitty,
He told us before you got on, Ralph, that the audio just doesn't sound that great. He gave a test run and it sounded lousy, but someday we got to get him on here because
if really I go through my MIDI interface with my mixer, I'm quite willing to perform. Yeah.
Ralph is a rapper and very much into music, so that's
cool.
Yeah, I usually am doing this like.
Whoa.
Ralph can sing too, man.
And Ralph, have you got a gun? And have you got any whores?
Got no, got none of those things. I'm not
He's
unfortunately
got
I'm
a
not
bunch
that
of
kind of
holes in his
rapper.
shirt.
The kind of rapper that who doesn't make any money or have any sex. That's my style of rap.
Cool.
Hey, his, that's his girlfriend in the background. Hey, I put
Sorry,
out.
Anya.
So what the fuck am I talking about? Oh yeah, is enjoyed being in Bangkok, and I've been going to Bangkok, Thailand, the whole of Thailand for 5 years, and I missed this year because of the Wu flu, and so it was a bit of a cunt. I was ready to go and to waste the time. Well, I can't, and and I won't be able to go till I get the fucking Bill Gates injection in my arm. You know what I mean? So
Now,
So what do you?
yeah.
Go ahead, Jay.
Reg, being Scottish, do you live in a castle? Because I think like
Yes, I'm in my
Scottish
castle
person
now.
lives in
This is
a
my
castle.
throne. This is my throne. I'm actually not.
Every man's home
I
is
only
his
live
castle.
in Scotland. I'm not Scottish.
Yeah.
I'm from.
Good accent.
I'm from the northeast of England.
Yes.
I was
No,
going to say
Spain.
there's something a little funny about that accent.
Yeah, I'm from Sunderland.
Yeah.
Which is next to Newcastle.
If he was Scottish, if he was fully Scottish, we wouldn't be able to understand him at all.
That's true. Yeah.
How do you end up in Scotland if you're English?
I came up with a girlfriend in 1985 when Live Aid was. Yeah.
You just never left.
No. And I met a lot of good people, and I married a Scottish girl, a different Scottish girl, and she left me about 14 years ago. But luckily, I don't have any kids, and I'm a reasonably well-adjusted guy. Well, I'd like to think I am.
You are.
And now I just travel and have fun.
That's great.
Nice.
I know. I love it. The guy lives life. He lives life. In fact, you know what? I know. It's such a weird segue, but if you have any stories that you'd like to share with us, that would be amazing. I love listening to your stories on Facebook.
I couldn't I? I could do a story. I'll tell you. I like telling stories about rock music and pop music. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a good story. When I met, are you familiar with David Bowie? Yeah. And he had a band called the Spiders from Mars. Yeah.
That I didn't know, but Jason knows. I'm not.
Yeah, and there's a famous album called Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Yeah.
Yes.
Familiar?
Yes.
Are you digging that?
Yeah.
Well, he's drummer. Well, the band consisted of Woody Woodmansey on drums, Trevor Boulder on bass guitar, and Mick Ronson on guitar. And those three guys were all like rough guys from Hull in England. Yeah. They were like, hey, up, talking like that, rough boys, working class lads, right? And David Bowie's a kind of arty, posh guy. And he met them and formed this band and called them the Spiders from Mars and dressed them in space outfits and fucking spangly gear, like what did they call it? Glitter. It was the glitter.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah? Like glam rock. The glam rock.
Yeah, glam rock, right? And so this is a segue to how I met the drummer, Woody Woodmansey. Yeah, I was in the Spiders had gone, and it was about, I think it was 1982, and I was in Sussex in England working as a house painter. Yeah. Can you answer us? Go, yes, that's good.
Yeah.
I've got a feedback.
I also thought you almost said house pimp, but go ahead.
I was a bit like,
I didn't want to talk
like
over you.
Adolf Hitler, but nice. He was a house painter. Anyway, no, he wasn't a house painter. He was a real painter. Anyway, I digress. And I was in Sussex house painting, and I met this guy called, I think it was called Mick, and he said, "You're a musician, Rich?" And I went, "Yeah." And I'd written a song, and it was I wrote it on the day of the Falklands War.
Okay.
That was a big war.
The one day. That one day.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote it, and it was like Yellow Submarine, my version of Yellow Submarine, like a children's adult song, because I was depressed, but I thought I was going to get called up and sent to the Falklands to die. Right? I was about 30, possibly. So I wrote this song called Sunny Weather. It was a sing-along kind of Yellow Submarine kind of song. So
Okay.
anyway, I had this song. This guy said, "You're a musician, right, John?" Yeah. He said, "Well, I know a musician. He lives in the village. He's also a paint and decorator. And he's called Woody Woodmansey. Can you believe this?" And he said, "Do you want to go and meet him?" He left the Spiders from Mars in 1976, and he was going fucking nowhere, obviously, after that. Then he formed a band called U-Boat, which Das sunk. It was such shit, right? And then he became a fucking paint and decorator. I couldn't believe it, right? So I went to his house.
I'm sorry, say that again. He
Woody
became a what?
Woodman's a house painter. Sorry, we call it paint and decorator. House painter.
Okay.
He became a house painter. I couldn't believe this shit, right? I'm gonna exaggerate and put a couple of jokes in here. I won't stick to the truth. But
Please do.
So Jim took us down, knocked on the door, and he said, "This is Reg. He's a musician. He's wrote a song called Sunny Weather. He wants you to kind of help him kind of co-write it, because he obviously knows a lot of people in the music business, right? Even though his band, U-Boat, Das Sunk." And he introduced, he invited us in, and this was fucking amazing, man. I walked down the passageway. It was only a small house, wasn't a big house. And all down the passageway was all the Bowie gold discs. You know, Ziggy Stardust, The Lad Insane. And he played all the Bowie early stuff up to 1976. So that's fucking exciting shit, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, it's great, man. So I'm sitting having a cup of tea with the guy, yeah? And he's called Woody Woodmansey, yeah? So I kept calling him Noddy Nodmansey. And he never said anything, right? But I was getting mixed up, right? Because Woody Woodmansey and Noddy Nodmansey sounded very similar, right? And he eventually said, we played the song a few times. And he said, "Yeah, I'll maybe add something to it, maybe help you produce it." And I was getting all excited. And he said, "Yeah, do you want another cup of tea?" And I was having a cup of tea, and I kept calling him Noddy Nodmansey, yeah? And he went, "Why are you calling me Noddy Nodmansey?" And I went, "Because I thought you were the guy out of Slade." Have you heard of Slade?
Yeah.
No.
This thing is called Noddy. This thing is called Noddy. Somebody's right.
Okay.
This is not a great story. This is why I didn't.
Fine, it's fine. We just didn't know. You're fine.
If I was talking to people in England, they'll be laughing by now, brother. Anyway, I'm going to leave that shit out because that's just me.
Just remember, you might be talking to somebody from England. They might be.
Yeah, you are talking
today.
to someone from England.
Oh, could I? All right. I thought I was just talking to you.
No,
Anyway,
we broadcast.
I kept calling him Noddy Nodmansey. He said, "What the fuck are you calling me Noddy Nodmansey for?" And I said, I thought you were the guy. I thought you were Noddy out of Slade." And he opened the front door and fucking threw us out, right? And as I got out in the street, his van was in the street, right? And I had Woody Woodmansey, house painter to the stars, ex-drummer from the Spiders from Mars. And I got me Sharpie out and I crossed out Spiders from Mars and wrote, "Not as good as Ringo Starr." No wonder he fucking hated me. But yeah. So yeah.
How many hours were you talking to him that he was working with you that you were calling him Noddy Nodman? Or not?
I was only in there for about probably half an hour or something like that.
Good. That's a good long time.
Yeah. I shouldn't be telling you this, but that never happened.
No, you shouldn't.
No, it did happen. No, but I tell you what I thought was funny is I thought, yeah, this is Woody Woodmansey. You've heard of him, haven't you?
Now I have.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I was chatting about when he was touring with the Spiders of Mars, right? About his rock and roll lifestyle, right? And it fucking amazing, man. He was telling me, right? And it must have been the same with Zeppelin and all these guys. He said they'd come into town like Tokyo or New York, anywhere, and they'd just take over the top floor of some 5-star hotel, the Spiders and all the entourage.
Okay. Yeah.
And Woody would just pick up the phone and order a lobster, a line of Coke, and 2 hookers. Anything they fucking wanted. He said, all he can remember, but I said, what did you think about touring with the Spiders from Mars?
Yeah.
And he said, all he could remember was gaps in between playing live on stage. And then they'd be back at the hotel. 2 hookers, a bag of Coke, and maybe a little bit of speed, and uppers and downers, and send a couple of clowns round to entertain us. Fucking what a lifestyle! Crazy.
Love the 70s. Gotta love the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the music business in and out since the 70s in bands and fucking about, right? And I was like a boring accountant compared to them, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I got into a lot of acid, but I was never into the mad, crazy shit of getting. Well, I've never been a big drinker, so I've never been pissed out my head lying on the floor before and after gigs. But I was a mad cunt on the acid though, and I smoked a lot of dope in my time. And that, I mean, when I was in Bangkok, I never smoked with Lex because I was paranoid because. The Thai policemen will take you away and put you in prison forever.
Oh, jeez.
Which makes
or
you
you can pay them off, or you can pay them off quick. But it is scary.
It's a bit scary. So I never ever had a smoke with Lex and Steve. Yeah.
Should have changed it earlier. But Reg, how did people find you? How did people find you, and especially to look up your stories?
I'm on Facebook as Reg Anderson.
Okay.
And I've got it when I met Led Zeppelin when I was with East End Gangsters in London. There are a few stories.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Great.
Good one.
Really, really entertaining.
They're all there in your video gallery?
Pardon?
They're all there in your video gallery?
Yeah, they are. They're on Facebook.
Just go through it. You can scroll through his feed or his videos, and you can check it out.
Is that where they'll be? That's where they'll be.
Yes.
And I played 5 songs as well.
Yes.
My own songs. Yeah.
We'd love to have you back to do maybe another story and play more music as well, and play some music. I would like to hear.
What I'll do is if I come back, I'll use my mixer and my interface so it sounds really cool.
Very cool.
I want to talk to you guys as well. So we've got Lex up here. You're in Bangkok?
Yes, I'm still in Bangkok.
Yeah. I can't see because I haven't got my reading glasses on. The gentleman up here, where are you living?
I don't know.
Ralph, I'm thinking.
Ralph.
I'm traveling right now. I'm traveling.
All right.
I'm south.
Traveling. Are you allowed to travel in America?
If you keep to yourself, you're allowed to drive.
But where do you normally live?
I normally live in Brooklyn.
All right. Is Brooklyn, New York?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And
Jason's in upstate New York.
Me and JQ grew up together. We've known each other since teenagers, maybe I think I was around 14 or 15 when I met him. And we grew up together, and then we reconnected a couple of years ago after our marriages failed. And he was down in Raleigh. I was touring with Sean, who you met real briefly, went right before we went live, and he got him involved. I didn't realize he smoked as much weed as I did, sometimes more, in fact. But I think sometimes I get you too, buddy. I think I get you sometimes too. Yeah,
so
and then
your buddy,
Yeah, and then Ralph I met. Ralph was doing comedy in New York. I think after I left, but he was friends with Sean again, who left, and we were doing Stoner Morning Show live, but we were trying to do more videos, and we had a concept video, something, and that's the first time me and Ralph worked together and met. And then after that, I mean, I think it was a good click right away. We just vibed very well, and I trust Sean with everything. He's one of my best friends, and I think brilliant, absolutely brilliant man. And that's one of the things that I think we like about this show too, is we like to bring eclectic people together, and sometimes it works where like you just I mean, that's how we got together. I mean, Sean put me and Ralph together, and so Ralph had done comedy and does comedy, very funny, but I think focuses a little bit more on the rap, and it's so great, yeah. And beatboxing, apparently. Well, you need to focus more on beatboxing if that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're doing 1985 Fat Boys beats. Right there.
Yeah. I like the old school stuff. I don't like the new stuff with using the N-word all the time and your whores and all that. I don't like that. I like the old school.
Your
Flash Freddy and all that.
All right. Well,
yeah.
I'll say, Reg, if I could say that there is rap out there that doesn't always talk about hoes and guns and
I don't like it.
and drugs, yeah. And you might like, Ralph doesn't do that specifically, so.
Yeah.
I rap about the people who do that. And but I tell mundane stories about their lives.
Can I ask the three New York, well, you're both all New York guys, if you know this guy I met and I tech for him at Edinburgh Festival, and I'm Facebook friends with him. He lives in New York. He's a Jewish guy with dreadlocks, and he's got a storytelling club in, I've got to get his name. He's a Jewish guy.
You've only narrowed down about half of the population of New York. Half of everybody is that.
But would he look like that? What, mad dreadlocks, Jewish guy?
Yeah, that's most white Jewish guys with dreadlocks who have storytelling clubs.
Is it really? Because if I've got his name, I don't remember his name. And he's got a storytelling club.
Well, maybe I'll check out Facebook and see what mutual friends we have, and that
mention some cool areas, and I'll tell you where he lives. Maybe narrow it down. No, really.
No. We're gonna have to. That might have to be a segment for when you come back on, Red.
Okay. We don't waste no time. Sorry about that.
Let you go.
Reg, we're gonna. Oh, go. So, Ralph, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We're gonna say goodbye to you, Red, because we get some other guests coming up soon.
Cool.
But thank you for sharing your story, and that's great. And please, let's figure out a time to have you back.
We'll get you back on.
It's been a pleasure, guys.
Thank you so much, Reg. I'm glad you didn't have to wake up 3 a.m. And
I'll be able to watch the rest of the show. Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks again, Reg.
Guys.
Cool.
See you.
Have fun.
Thanks. All right, there we go. Perfect. All right. Well, it's never easy for us. It's so funny how we've been doing this now for over 6 months, 8 months now. And the beginnings of we are consistently inconsistent with the starts of our shows. We're brilliant.
We make it happen. We get it. Maybe that's our MO. That's our brand.
That's it. I'm fine with it. I'm comfortable and I love it. How you guys doing?
I am groggy, man. I've been just like burning the midnight oil, mostly just being nervous about putting syllabi together for school.
Oh, the comedians can act. Comedians can act.
Yeah. We should talk about it too. What I put together.
It might help me too, because I'm planning on. I think once things open up here again, I'd really like to teach sketch. One of the things that they're not doing here, they have improv. People are doing improv here. A lot of short form, but they do dabble in long form, and obviously stand up. And they have storytelling here. And there's a good amount of storytellers who aren't involved in comedy that just do storytelling, but nobody's doing sketch. Nobody's doing sketch here. And so that was my forte, I think. I mean, back before I started doing stand-up, was doing sketch. So I'm trying to, oddly enough today, I'm not in a funk. I think, you ever get like, you know, I'm in a lockdown, but honestly, I know outside of Bangkok, outside of my room, people are going out and living their lives. You know, nobody's really stopping you from doing it. But I don't want to get kicked out of the country, and I'm serious about it. Also, I have nothing to do, and so I am plugging out to try to go because I can't perform, and I want, you know, I need to do something. So anyway, I was thinking about trying to set up a syllabus myself as to like. Because I had talked about doing the sketch class, but I should prepare, actually prepare a class if I'm going to teach it. So I never even thought about that. I just know I have the qualifications. I just never set up a syllabus. It's weird. It's a weird thought to try to.
We got the makings of a sketch right now. GQ's got a Bernie Sanders watching the show behind him.
Is that true? Oh, very nice. Very nice. I couldn't see him sitting there. How great of a silly meme is that?
That's awesome.
By the way,
I love it.
I was
really bringing the country together.
It's true. He's an oddly likable character, Bernie Sanders.
It is also a little bit like weird. Like it's kind of the fact that the day of Biden's inauguration, what spread was a meme of Bernie Sanders. I think shows that
Yes.
were like, we kind of wanted him instead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
you hear him. Yeah, go ahead.
we're pining for him.
I have read a lot of. He's popped up in my newsfeed a lot about some of the stuff that he's going to be doing, which I think he has a good position of power. I just hope. I hope things work out.
Yeah, I think hopefully if they're smart, they'll really put him in a good position to advise really, really strongly because he's somebody who needs to be around. I think.
Well, I think he got control of the money, which is money. First, you get the money, then you get the women, then you get the power. Right? I think, or maybe I'm flipping.
I want to see you do a performance piece where for 100 hours you just repeat that over and over as you constantly shovel spaghetti into your mouth. You don't eat any of it. You're just constantly shoveling it in and then just saying that with it dripping out. Jason, I wanted to ask you, what do you think a curriculum for a sketch class would entail? What do you guess it would entail?
If I had to write it, it would just be a bunch of bullet points.
Okay.
I wouldn't know where to start, like teaching something like that.
Exactly. That's what I'm asking you. Where do you?
He didn't even talk about comedy. He just talked about PowerPoint.
Yeah, so talk about PowerPoint.
I'd probably look it up on the internet and see if I could find the answer on Google.
Oh man. If I put you into a classroom right now with 10 students and was like, teach them sketch, what's the first thing you would do?
Just act normal.
Actually, Jay,
My whole
define
life is
sketch. Define sketch. No, I don't want to shit on you too much, Jay.
I don't know what I would do either.
You know what? Well, I think, one of the things that I think about it, like, you know Michael Delaney, Ralph? Do you know Michael?
From the UCB?
You might know who he is. Yes, yeah.
I've seen him play.
He was one of my favorite teachers, and man, I should maybe reach out to him. But he was great about calling out famous sketches that people know of, and then he had his own terms which stuck with me. So an example would be like Will Ferrell and Sherry O'Terry doing the cheerleader sketch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a pretty famous one that most people know, and he would refer to it as a peas in the pod sketch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll teach Jason. So peas in the pod, peas in the pod, right? These two people are peas in a pod, like peas in a pod, right?
Sure.
So the rest of the world, these two people are the oddest, weirdest people in the world, but they get each other. So they're basically one character, but they get to play off of each other. And then you have the rest of the world be straight men. And Jay, a straight man would be the guy who is not weird, who's very everyday normal, not trying to be funny. The only thing that he's funny would be calling out the abnormalities of the other person. right? So I think that's probably what I would do is I'd probably grab sketches that everybody knows of and then highlight why they work. I think that would be a good way to start. You know who has a great podcast? You're friends with him. I didn't know you were friends with him. Matt Alpha.
Oh yeah,
How
the
great is Matt, by the
SNL
way?
podcast. Yeah. Yeah, I was on there a couple episodes ago. Yeah, he and I have known each other. I met him like my first year or my second year in New York. I've known him a long time. We used to do a sketch show together. That was my only involvement with sketch. I started a sketch show 10 years ago. I'd never done any sketch. I just started a show 10 years ago with a bunch of
Without
Tyler
anything,
Fisher was in it.
How'd you get joined in with that?
I just was doing the
Okay.
improv at the Pit. It's weird because I've been around the Pit for years. I've never officially had any. I worked there actually, but I never had anything to do with the comedy side. But I was just around there doing improv for years. I never, to this day, I've never really done any sketch. I think I did one sketch show with Jeff Grimwood, yeah, I've never done any sketch, but except for that show that I started. I actually started it and then had to leave it. And then just Sashir Zameda was on for a couple of episodes of it.
Okay.
It was a cool show.
I was on.
And Matt was running it.
I met Matt. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I met Matt because I was on a sketch when I moved back from California. That was the first sketch group, and actually one of my favorite sketch groups I was ever on was, I think our team name was called Enemy Planet with Magnet Theater, and man, Matt is brilliant. Like, I think he's just one of those versatile. Like, he's just a versatile and brings it always, and also good person too.
Mm-hmm.
Great idea for a podcast too.
Yeah, it's a brilliant idea. Yeah, I'm so excited about it.
So Ralph, what do you have for,
what do you guys
your syllabus right now? I mean,
basically I've been milking this conversation so I can steal ideas. Basically what I'm doing is, and I'm thinking of adding some other stuff. The one thing I want to add maybe is like an improv component. So maybe I'll have them play freeze at the end of every class or something. I can't. So it's kind of like a cross between a general survey of modern comedy and picking out. It's a survey of modern comedy, and then it's also a survey of the comedians who've crossed over into like real acting. It's a survey of what skills did they take over from comedy that make them so interesting.
So you're gonna have like people like Robin Williams, Jim Carrey, all like people like that.
Strangely, I don't talk about any of those people.
No,
they'll probably come up in the class, but really, I'm sticking to the people who. I think the point is easier made, even though, and I have to talk about this in class, it annoys me that the point is easier made through drama, but the point is easier made when you can see comedians doing well in drama, because then you go, oh, they can do real acting, which I think is like, what Jim Carrey does is real acting. What Jim Carrey is one of the best actors alive to me. It always made me mad. Like maybe 10 years ago, I saw an Empire magazine list of the 200 greatest actors alive. Jim Carrey was not on the list. Ed Harris was on the list, and they used his Truman Show performance as an example, but they didn't use Jim Carrey, which I was
so they know who Jim Carrey is.
They do. They know who he is, and then they use him. But so anyway, I'm using like Chris Tucker in Silver Linings Playbook, or like
Chris Rock in New Jack Hustler.
New Jack City, yeah. I didn't use that actually. That would be a good one.
That's one of the. I think it's his only time Chris Rock was a good actor.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, he's not good a lot of times. I don't know why. It seems like he would be. I keep hoping that he will. He's not bad in Top 5. I hear he's good in Fargo, but I saw one.
I think it's because
crackhead. Wasn't he a crackhead?
Yeah, that was yeah. He was a crackhead, and he was fantastic in it. But that's
fantastic.
The only time I've ever. I think that's the only time he was ever like not Chris Rock. But I think that's what Chris Rock has such a pronounced cadence. Maybe. He speaks in a certain way, and he does it almost always,
I think it's just something else going on. I don't think it's that he can't, because there's moments when he's good, and the moments when he's good are mostly on his show,
Yes.
on the Chris Rock
Chris
show.
Rock show. The
Yeah,
TV show.
he's great in a
Yeah.
lot of the sketches on there. You know, even if
Yeah.
he's just being himself, he's just very charismatic and fun. He's great on talk shows, talking to the host. You know what I mean? He's so
Fantastic.
sharp and lucid, but something
Yeah.
about when he starts to act, I don't know what it is.
I was just talking with somebody, I think it was Brian, about that. How great of a guest is Chris Rock on talk shows, by the way?
He's great. He's so sharp.
Great.
He wants to be so funny.
Yeah.
He's so so I would use like, I think I was gonna use like, I probably didn't because it's too obvious, but like Adam Sandler and Punch Drunk Love, or like
Brilliant. One of my favorite movies, underrated.
it's one of my favorite movies of all time. One of John Leguizamo's like one man show pieces. I feel like there's one more piece that I was using that was like very clear.
John Leguizamo, good choices. I love hearing this shit.
I'm trying to go deep. I'm trying not to go like straight to Robin Williams. You know what I mean? Oh, Bernie Mac and Bad Santa.
Okay.
Cat Williams on Atlanta. That's it. I
never saw that.
He had one episode where he was on Atlanta where he was kind of playing a character that was a little bit like broken down and always getting into trouble. So it's kind of like, you know, reflect his real life a little bit. So yeah, I try not to go for like super obvious stuff, but I mean, there's tons of stuff. Like I'm sad I didn't get any Whoopi in there. I'm sad I didn't get any Michael Keaton in there. I really should try to, but I want to do mostly film roles, but like, because you know Hugh Laurie started in sketch comedy, and Emma Thompson.
Yeah, but Hugh Laurie was great. His sketch show was great. How about Sinbad?
But Sinbad is the very first clip that I show.
Oh, there you go.
So,
yeah, he's underrated.
Mm-hmm.
You want to avoid. But you could go with what's his name? Walters. Who is Robin Williams' son in Mork and Mindy?
Oh, Jonathan Winters, of course. Yeah.
Jonathan Winters.
I thought about him. I guess there was just not a lot that I could, because like my strategy right now is to like, I'm gonna show each. I have like 5 units, so I spend 2 weeks on each unit. And once a unit, I show like a clip from like a real regular actor like Sidney Poitier, and then the next clip I show like a comedian actor. But I'm not going to put too fine a point on it because I want them to sort of blend together. I don't want it to just be here's just a bunch of clips of comedians being serious actors. I want to say these are the skills that comedians have, and those skills translate really well to acting. And my point is almost that comedy, because when I say comedians make the best actors, what I'm really saying is that comedy, I think, is the best training ground at this point in time in history. Comedy is when the UCB exists and there's so much sketch and there's so much stand up, and comedy is so accessible. You can do comedy anywhere. It's the best training ground for acting that there is.
So what do you think? What is it? What quality do you think it is that makes them like? What are the qualities that you're highlighting?
I broke it down to 5 qualities. Let me see if I can remember them. Vulnerability, a sense of rhythm and musicality, unapologetic. You use everything you ever learned, which is a quote from Born Standing Up with Steve Martin. That comedians end up drawing on.
Height of your intelligence.
Yes, exactly. And then like Dice and Bill Burr and Woody Allen, all these guys, they're all musicians. So that plays super into what they do. Yeah. You know, Ellen, the example I actually use in the class is Ellen DeGeneres, because Ellen only started in comedy because her girlfriend got killed in a car accident. And then she came up with a bit where she wanted to ask God why tragic things happen. And then she was like, oh, I'm going to do this. She had a dream where she was like, I'm going to do this on Carson. And then 7 years later, she did just that. So this real thing that happened to her informed her start in comedy. So you use everything. And the very last skill, I think, is, I can't remember what it is. but I think it's
being in the moment.
Not being
Well,
in the moment.
if you don't talk about being in the moment,
mischievous.
And I'll
Mischievous.
tell you, if there's comics who aren't listening, I think that's the biggest flaw in most comics is just not. It's hard to be in the moment, especially when you're performing in front of an audience. But that's what I think a lot of the first years of. I think that's the only thing that I maybe skipped a little bit when I started doing stand up on the regular, but doing improv and sketch first was I already had stage time, so I was comfortable already being on stage and having these moments of quietness and just still being in the moment and not judging myself. And I think that's a good thing to have. And when I was acting, I think the best advice I ever heard somebody say was, I think Morgan Freeman in Inside the Actor Studio, which is he doesn't act, he just reacts because he's only as good as his scene partner. And that informed me a lot as to how I attacked the improv stage and being on stage is just responding and listening like crazy as to what's going on, because they might just do the slightest inflection in their voice that what's the word, informs the whole intent of that character, you know?
Why do you think like podcasts where people talk about comedy are so big now, and like Inside the Actor Studio was this kind of a cultural phenomenon? Why do you think people are so interested in this? Because I don't know that if I didn't do this stuff that I would be.
Yeah. Well, I think, man, I really was into Inside the Actor Studio for a long time. I've never really analyzed why, but I'll throw it by. I think it's because my first thoughts are you see these people doing other things. You know you like them, but you don't know why. But then you get to hear why. You get to find out why you like these people, you know? You get to see that they're, and I think a lot of people don't know how much work goes into acting. Definitely not into acting. I think some people recognize how hard it is to be a comic, but everybody also has that little gut feeling like they can, you know, because everybody can be funny and everybody's had moments of being funny. But I think now comedy's become famous enough that people know that it took somebody 10 years to, you know, get to where they even get to be seen, you know. But acting wise, you know, Sean Wickens has a great joke about it where he talks about the kids from what's that Netflix phenomenon with the 12-year-olds, but he kind of jokes about how they acted being 12-year-olds, you know. It's like, wow, they're such good actors. But I mean, there's something about when the camera's on and people are looking at you, and especially I think there was a novelty 20 years ago. Now you have the internet, you have YouTube, and there's not this novelty about being seen by millions of people. You know, you could just do this at home. But I know there was this novelty from behind the camera, from watching shows to being being in front of the camera. That when I first started being in front of the camera and being on stage, there was this like, what am I doing? You know, and there was an uncomfortableness of that, you know. I remember, you know, I'm going on a diatribe, but I was working with Jason Mantzoukas, was one of my improv instructors, and I was supposed to be a 7-year-old in this scene that I was doing with a partner, and it might have been, by the way, I'm name dropping, Adam Pally. I was doing a scene with Adam Pally, and Jason Mantzoukas is my teacher, and I'm sitting there with my legs crossed, sitting back like and I'm supposed to be a 7-year-old, but I'm sitting there like a grown-up. And it's like a 7-year-old would never sit like that, you know? And so this is me not knowing how to act, you know, but this is the first time that I was realizing I'm not just trying to be funny, I'm acting on stage as an improviser too, you know, because I didn't get into improv to act. I was doing it to be funny, you know?
Hey Lex, speaking of not knowing what you're doing, on our next guest is here, Anya.
Oh, good.
Hi everyone.
She's joining us from her Push and Believe tour, where they're currently locked up in a hotel room and not their van.
Well, actually, we're locked up in you guys here in double because Anya's right next to me.
I know.
I'm gonna keep myself muted and I'm just gonna talk through Anya's.
That even sounds weird.
Oh shit! I'm muted.
Is it? Well, then let me
fun.
take off these. There,
Yeah.
this should be better.
How much pushing and how much believing have you been doing, Anya?
I feel like she's been doing a lot of believing.
Yeah, I sometimes slack on the pushing, and the believing isn't easy either. I'm doing. I think Ralph is doing a lot of the pushing and the believing for both of us.
It's
I'm
a
just
good part
I'm
of the
chilling.
dynamic.
I'm pushing, believing, chilling.
What's your because you now I just saw a picture of Ralph on the beach. Are you guys doing you're Fort Lauderdale, right?
Yeah, the photos from the beach. We're trying to like use everything that we shot in Key West and stretch it and like get the most run out of it. Those were photos from Key West, which was a while ago.
Okay. How do you find performing? I see. I haven't done it though. I've thought about doing it. It's funny. Before the pandemic, while I was in New York, I really wanted to just get a mic and a box and go do some spots. You know, I've heard people doing it. So how do you find
who
doing
inspired me to do that was Sean. By the way, where's Sean?
Sean,
He's, you know,
had some work he had to do, so he's not going to be able to make it back today. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So
He
I
had to-
guess like maybe 3 years ago at this point, Sean invited me to do a show. It's like some gig that he got online, where he was invited to like do a comedy show at a rich person's house for New Year's.
Mhm.
And he invited me to like basically be his opener. And he came with his own speaker and mic. And he was like, you know, you can just do this. If you have your own speaker and mic, you could do a show anywhere. So then I bought a speaker and mic.
I'm watching this lady tell a story.
Oh my God, get out of here. So I bought this amp, which like really came into handy. During the quarantine, I started doing like shows or mics and shows in the park with it.
Mhm.
I don't remember the question. What was the question?
How do you when you're doing a show outside, do you just walk to or do you just find the most people around and then you just start doing a show, or do you hope that people will just stop when you just pick a place?
It's more the latter. You do kind of try to pick a strategic place, like a place where you won't be bothered by the cops, but also a place that has some good sound and would have good foot traffic. But we don't really like chase people down. It's you kind of set up where there's foot traffic and then you hope that people stop, and they do. And it's funny, almost everyone will stop for like at least 20 seconds. And then it's funny to just watch them walk away, like that point where they decide like, oh no, this is nothing.
So Florida was really good. Florida's really good for that because I mean, there's a lot of beach, and so you could just go set up on the beach and everything like that. Because I've lived in Florida for like 20 years, so and like it's normal for like a Latin family to come out with like huge speakers and just hang out on the beach and just party up. So
it's interesting that I'm listening to Anya tell the story. I'm like, it's interesting.
I think that, I mean, this might just be me trying to make you feel good, but I do think that by the end of you doing this kind of tour, in particular you, Anya, because I think comedy. Like when you're doing comedy without an audience, it's like playing poker without money, you know? When you're playing with friends and you're playing with friends and no money and everybody's like, no, we're gonna really take it seriously, but then you don't. And I know myself, when you get to an open mic and there's just an audience that you already know, it's like an audience of only comics, and you're just like you want to half-ass it so bad. And it's a real skill just to come with it every time. I think doing what you're doing is going to make you so much more powerful in the end.
That's a good point.
While you're in it,
I do appreciate the encouragement. To be honest with you, though, we've been on the road for, at this point, 2 months. right?
Yeah.
And we've done maybe 5 shows total around there. Most of this tour has been, oh, the van broke down. What do we do?
Yeah, pushing. A lot
Yeah.
of pushing and believing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a push and believe
Yeah.
tour. Yeah.
I
You
didn't
guys
know
named
how
it.
aptly named it would be.
Yeah, that's it. Aptly
I think that's okay, babe. Like that's how my bike tour was. Like the first 2-3 months, I was just figuring out how not to shit my pants the whole time, and then
Yeah, but your bike was never like just broke down all the time.
I was broke down spiritually.
True.
I was just like trying to figure out how to. I've never camped before. I've never done a long distance bike tour.
That's right. I keep forgetting, Ralph. This is like your second time, like your second adventure out into the
Yeah.
unknown, right?
And
Like
this
you
is
did the
a
bike thing
cakewalk.
across the country.
This is a cakewalk compared to that because
Because you know me.
yes, I have built-in companionship. I have a partner for everything I want to do. I'm not sleeping outside. I'm not in fear. I'm not like out of going from being completely sedentary.
Wait,
to
Ralph,
70
you were
miles.
sleeping outside? You were sleeping outside your last tour?
Yeah, 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I've heard stories, so
And I was sleep in a van.
Well, he's also partially referring to camping, which is
yes.
outside.
When you camped on someone's lawn, you've told me that story.
Yeah, I camped on someone's lawn. I slept in an alley between 2 yoga studios. I did a lot of that. So this is compared to that, like just having our van broke down. I mean, it's costing a lot of money, but just having our van broke down, it's not the worst thing that can happen as long as it's going to get fixed.
Where is the oh, how do I word this? I'm too stoned.
You can do it, Jay.
Nice.
Where's your favorite place you want to go? Or where do you have like a top 10 or top 5 like places you
Well-
want to go in the van? Like
I'm really looking forward to New Orleans. I've never been, and I've heard really amazing things. I mean, Florida was on the list until we got here, which I just wanted, like, I didn't expect to like it. I just wanted to see it. And I do wish there were more gators because that's what Florida was in my mind. New Orleans, I've never been to like San Francisco and LA, which again, I don't expect to like LA. It doesn't seem like something I'd like, but I still want to see it. I want to see Las Vegas. I've never been to Texas. I want to see the desert. I'm really excited to see like the Arizona, New Mexico desert.
yes.
I think that's what I'm most excited for. Yeah, the desert and watching the stars in the desert. I love like stars.
Oh,
where
good call.
you have a completely
Yeah.
not light polluted place.
Yeah. That's great. Now you speak Russian fluently?
Yeah.
Fluently?
Yeah.
Is that because your family, or is it because you don't
Well,
have
I was
an
born
accent?
and raised
but
there.
You were for how long?
So I was born and raised when I was 5. We moved to the US, and then basically the next like 10 years I was kind of half there, half here.
Okay. So can you teach me and Ralph? Do you know Russian now? Do you know any Russian?
I know Russian curse words.
I'm fluent.
I know, well, you know very little. You know my curse words too. What, Ralph?
Please make relax. Give me please.
Those are things that my family says. My grandfather doesn't speak any English at all, except he thinks he does. He knows like odd words here and there. When we went over for Thanksgiving, like towards the end of the meal, people were kind of like moving around, and my grandfather just said,
"Make relax." Make relax.
He just said, "Make relax."
Relax. You know what, Ralph? Try doing the mic. I don't think it doubles up too much, but you're too hard to hear without it.
Oh, shit.
Can you try just a little bit? Yeah.
I'm here.
Does it double up? I don't hear a problem. Jay, you have no problem with that, right?
Double up. What is that? What's that line that Sir Mix-a-Lot says? Double up.
All right. So Anya, can you teach me and Jay and Ralph? You could listen. You could learn something too, I guess. Do you want to teach us some maybe some stoner things to say in it, like in Russian?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like stoner
I know we
culture.
put you on
Stoner
the spot.
culture. No. Please do. I love weed a lot, which that's another thing is I have only been able to smoke like really 2 or 3 times on the tour, and they were all like back to back just because I found someone to give me some weed, and I smoked a lot before we left, which is like great to be sober, but it's awful. I hate it.
I understand.
Stoner culture
understand.
in Russia is really different because it's so much more rare. Like to find weed, it's a lot less accessible, so it's a lot more criminal. Stoner things to say in Russian.
Do they mix? Do they do the spliff? They mixed a lot of tobacco with the weed.
I
you smoke it there?
I have no idea. I don't think any of my friends there have ever smoked it. It's just so much harder to find.
But
right.
Russians they roll a wolf into it. They smoke a wolf.
All right.
Okay, so I'll teach you how to say give me a smoke, which could be like either cigarettes or weed. Дай покурить.
Say again.
Дай покурить.
Jay, go for it.
Your comrade.
No cursing.
I'll type it out too. The first one is дай, and then покурить.
Покурить.
That's what I said. That's what I said. I said the P.
Дай покурить. That was very good.
Thank you. Дай покурить.
That's also the name of the top Russian rapper.
Дай покурить. And this is how they know.
Good.
That's the top Russian rapper is Дай покурить.
That's a good rapper name, Дай покурить. How about pass it on your left. Pass it to your left.
You waiting for Jason to answer?
Pass it is not
Pass the dookie on
the left. Okay,
side.
I guess you would say передай налево.
Ooh, all right, slow down. Shasha.
Oh, by the way, there's a huge protest in Russia right now.
On what?
Navalny. You know Navalny? I don't know how much.
That's the guy? Is that the guy the guy who's trying to take over, like another politician?
Yeah. So Navalny. He was, and there's a protest to free him.
Yes. But tell us more.
It's a lot of bullshit, honestly. I don't want to.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. How much do you watch? How much do you watch of Russian news?
Well, most people get their news from their Facebook feed, and my Facebook feed is a lot of Russian people. So I just am kind of naturally more exposed to it. I don't really watch. I watch the minimal amount. I try to know what the basic stuff is that's going on both there and here.
I don't get my news from my Facebook. I get my news from ABC. More people get their news from ABC than from any other source. Look, I have just Lex's face on my feed, and it's a look of pure it's not even disappointment. It's like I wish this was better, but it's not.
Oh my god!
Mickey Mouse, just Mickey Mouse news.
Isn't that what they used to say? This is like a joke from the 80s.
About Facebook?
No, about more people get their news from than from any other source. I forget who it was. Who was that, guys?
PBS, isn't it?
It was PBS? CBS?
I mean, you guys would know about the 80s. I wouldn't really know very much about that.
Oh, rub it in. Oh, young guy.
I get this all the time. Jokes.
It's my favorite joke.
About how old I never thought that I would get that I would.
What, get old?
Yeah.
You've been there a long time.
Yes.
Oh, you guys are on the road together for a long time. Wow.
I don't even remember what we were talking about. We were talking about Russian stoners.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
You get tipped into talking about
how's the dog?
The dog is good. That's all I
Yeah,
care
tell us
about
about Sasha.
nowadays is the dog.
The dog has a Russian name.
Yeah, the dog's name is
Sasha,
Masha.
right?
Masha,
Yeah.
close. Yeah, she's good. She's napping right now. I mean, first of all, she's growing really fast. She outgrew her baby collar and she's great. She's throwing up shit all the time. She's taking poops with sticks in them. She's chasing ducks and
That's nice.
she's biting, which by the way, I'm going to share something awful is our dog trainer said that if she's biting your hand, which she really bites a lot and kind of hard, you should just jam your fingers down her throat and she's going to hate that. And she hasn't vomited. She kind of gags a little, but it works incredibly. I've been trying it basically in the last like 24 hours.
I had to do it last night because I was putting on her harness and
It works amazing, right? She hates it and she for a second she goes like, whoa. And then she doesn't really bite that much anymore.
Nice. I feel like a dog abuser.
Yeah, you do. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
It's also because weird, I beat her with bamboo sticks, but
yeah. Is that half your day is just out walking around Florida looking for bamboo sticks?
I want to pick them myself. There's places where you can buy a bamboo stick. I refuse. I want to gather them myself.
Yeah. I miss having a dog. So, have you guys both have dogs before?
When I was little, my dad had 2 Rottweilers that were in the backyard, but they were just fucking vicious attack dogs. My dad was dealing drugs. They weren't really for me to love.
Yeah, dogs in Russia are vicious too. I never had one. My father has dog now and has had dogs, but that was after he moved out. My father is a professor at a university. He married one of his grad students and then
so he doesn't teach ethics.
Yeah.
Guess what their dog's name is?
Jorgen.
Hypocrite.
No, it's not.
Pass me a smoke.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Yeah, so they have boxers. They love boxers, and they're great dogs. But I basically grew up with dogs in Russia, and and Russia has a lot of stray dogs, which is a really big problem.
That's what I was just going to ask you. Does Russia have a problem with that?
No, they're vicious. It's awful.
Too, right? They just have golden packs of dogs.
Yeah, they do, which is a really big problem. Like if you have to walk home at night and you live in, let's say, not a big city, which, most of Russia is not a big city. And let's say you're like walking home from the grocery store with some meat and they'll attack you. It's awful.
Good pack. How many, like, do they have massive packs of dogs? It's like a pack of dogs that'll go attack? Or just
random? It's, I think it's like a pack of like 5, but they like split up and do their own thing, but then sometimes when they want to, they'll like band together. Yeah.
And it's usually some like chihuahua in the background, like egging them on and everything too.
It is.
Probably, yeah, probably.
He's the gang leader. And I want to just shout out to, it seems like he's been watching the whole show. Shout out to Baxter Wordsworth. He put in that comment, I think it was responding to maybe the fingers down the throat or something, but he said that's why the dog has sticks in their poop. I don't know what he's referring to because we don't want the sticks in the poop. Anyway, continue.
Dogs in Russia seem to act like the Wu-Tang Clan. They do their own thing sometimes and they get back together and then they go back.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, because living in Bangkok now, they call them soy dogs here. And there's just dogs everywhere. And I thought...
Sounds racist.
That's what I was going to say. That's funny. Yeah.
That soy is street. The translation would be street. So street dog.
Okay, that's not what we thought it was.
No. Yeah, not S-O-I, not S-O-Y. And when I first got here, I used to walk with the streets with such confidence because I thought, I'm in a city and there's people living here. So if this dog was a problem, if it was a problem dog, then they would have got rid of it, you know? So I would just
That is
that's
the
what I was-
American mindset. That's like, I don't think that's a bad thing, but it's amazing how I really think this is an American thing of like, you assume that if something's a problem, that it would just be taken care of.
Yes. And then I feel like it was the first time I was walking alone with food in my hand.
Yeah.
And then I was surrounded. At first it was just one dog, and then he was just like, I think what he was barking wasn't I thought he was saying get out of here, but he was yelling at his friends, get over here. Because then there was like a shit ton of dogs around me, and I was hungry. I was hungry and on mushrooms, and I was like, yeah. And I was like, I really didn't want to give up my food. And then I just finally was like, fine. And I just threw it. And all the other dogs went at the food, except for the one who first started barking. And he was saying, get out of here. He's like, this is mine now. And I was just like, all right, man, it's all good. And I just walked away. And now I'm like, yeah, it sucks. Because I would love to pet a dog, but I don't now.
Yeah.
I don't trust them.
Are they all fucking snappy?
Or dirty. I just don't trust them.
New
I
York,
have mushrooms
Just
with
don't
me.
trust them.
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
No, you knew that. I've been telling you for the last 2 months, I have mushrooms with me and I want to do them. And you keep telling me it's not a good time.
Hey, talk to me through here. Don't look at me over here. Talk to me through the.
Hey.
What was I gonna? Fuck, I forgot.
Petting a dog. Oh, that's a dog right there. Nice. Sleepy dog.
Daddy,
He's
how
always
come? Why do you guys think that dogs don't interact with you via Facebook or Instagram or, I mean, not the typing. I mean,
They don't
like
have
right
thumbs.
now, like.
Sorry.
Yeah. I know.
God damn it, he won't follow me.
I knew I set you up too quick. So Daddy, I spent time with Daddy. That guy's my boy. I was there when Jay got him, and now he doesn't talk to me. I mean, he doesn't like. I can't
I
say,
think
hey,
I
Daddy,
can answer your
and
question.
he doesn't perk up.
I think I know why. Because was it you that was just saying that you were on mushrooms, right?
We've
Yes.
done mushrooms around him.
So
Yeah.
have you ever been like deep into a mushroom trip and you see like a TV screen or a computer screen and it just means nothing to you, but when you're sober, it's like, oh, there's a lot of cool stuff in there. I think that's what it's like for dogs, is it's just like flat.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. They just know it's not real.
Yeah, it's because
Maybe-
it's not.
All right, Jay, this is what you got to do. You got to find some shit that I gave you or that you might have that I left with you that smells like you. And then when I'm on camera, you shove it in his, like, just wave it in front of his nose, and they'll be like, Lex?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so funny that you.
It's Lex. It's Lex.
That makes me think the equivalent of the Bernie Sanders meme to a dog would just be smelling Bernie Sanders at a bunch of random locations.
Yeah.
Be like, he's here too.
I'm just imagining like Bernie Sanders just peeing everywhere, like marking his territory.
That would be so funny if he lifted his leg like a dog
That's great.
and peed a bunch of places, and everywhere he peed, people got free healthcare.
I would love it if I watch the inauguration and you see like everybody sniffing each other's butts before they speak, you know?
Yeah, that would be beautiful. We'd know we were finally coming together. So Anya,
Who's our last guest?
she's coming on at 11:30. So just about to kick Anya out of here. Anya, tell everybody where they can find you. I don't know.
Well, first of all, I want to say that Ralph is almost always on Zoom, whether it's with you guys or I don't even know, but he's on Zoom like 5 hours a day. So it's so nice to like be in here and have his attention because I'm finally in his screen.
All right, how do I kick you out of here?
It's just so nice. You can find me at mute yourself, you dog. You can find
Wait,
me.
yeah, mute yourself, Ralph.
You can find me at Anya Jones, ANYAJ0NES on everything, I think. I don't know. Lifeofanya.com also is where you can follow the tour. I made a page where you can see where we are, which has just been Fort Lauderdale for the last 3 weeks. But lifeofanya.com, Anya with a Y.
All right.
There couldn't be worse
I
places
hope-
to be stuck.
Yep.
Yeah, we're at my cousin's house. We're actually not in a hotel. We're at my cousin. I happen to have a cousin that lives here, and he's awesome.
Yeah.
How do you like living with Ralph's family?
She
Well-
was at my dad's house too for a week.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's great. I just like, I feel bad that we kind of just show up out of nowhere and say, oh, we're here for however many weeks. They're very, very generous, very nice people.
I don't. I'm ordering Thai food. I'm getting a massage on the couch. I'm good.
You need massages. I want the massage. Ralph, I keep asking him to like massage my shoulders. I have really tight shoulders. And he refuses to do it. And he just says, what is wrong with you?
Right? I can go for a little rub right now. What's wrong with you, Ralph?
He has these strong man hands, but he'll go for like, he'll massage for like 3 minutes. And then he's like, all right, are you done? Are you done?
Oh.
All right, Ralph, this is what I think. Next time you massage Anya, or next time she asks, remind yourself that you get to touch a woman. And then it's fun. And I don't think about it as massaging and work.
Oh
it's
my
like,
God, I
get to
don't think
touch
he
a
could
woman.
care less.
Listen, if it's not on Zoom, I don't care about it. All right, so let's say goodbye to Anya, guys.
All
Bye,
right.
Anya.
Bye,
Thanks.
Anya.
We miss
I
you.
love you all so much.
Thanks for coming on.
Be safe.
I love you too.
Bye.
So glad to get rid of her. Oh, she's still in the room with you.
Right next to me. She didn't hear that though.
No,
I'm so glad to get rid of you.
I'll tell you what. It did start. Your audio started. It was doubling, Jay. Right? You heard that, and I think Ralph did too a couple times. But I kind of liked it. It was kind of trippy.
Yeah. It was like a bad trip, though.
my friend Baxter. We should have him on. I've been wanting to have more people. Oh, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
I've been wanting to have more people from our hip hop community, but he said, "Are you sure?" When Anya said I'm on Zoom all the time, he said, "Are you sure it's Zoom or a 3-day long Facebook argument?" It's both. Anya says it's both. Yeah, we got one more guest coming on in about 10 minutes. Hopefully, let me make sure she got the.
All right, Ralph. What is if I said speak Russian right now? What would be the first thing you think of?
Davai.
What's that mean?
Let's go.
Oh, nice.
What's the other one you always tell me that I forget about? Pashli, which means let's do it.
No, Davai is let's do it. Pashli is let's go.
Oh, fuck, I mixed them up. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, Jobanap Mudak.
Blet Budak.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Jason.
Funny,
oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I talk too much.
Well, that's our job.
Yeah, I know.
Jason, how's the gas station, the management going?
They're good. Everybody's good. It's just long hours.
Are you a manager?
I took it. No, not really. I guess I closed it. I have a key.
All right.
They gave me the code.
Ooh. The code. Do you have to clean the bathroom?
I do. I'm the only one there, so it's
Ooh.
usually my piss.
Man, and you don't have time to do like a thorough clean. You got to do just like a quick.
I cleaned that whole place in like an hour. Boom, it's done.
Oh, nice.
How early do you start closing up?
On
Not
time.
not locking up, but like
Like an hour before.
you
I'll
start
start.
prepping.
Yeah.
All right. Who's your
Yeah.
favorite regular? You want to give a shout out to your favorite regular?
Oh, favorite regular. Phew.
Let's get him on the show.
That would be good. That would be weird.
This old lady that comes in at night. Yeah.
What does she do?
She buys milk.
What does
She buys
that's
milk
it?
and then she drinks it like a gallon, not a half gallon of chocolate milk, and she'll drink it right as soon as she pays for it. She opens it and but she always spills a little bit all over herself and everything. And I'm always looking at her weird. She goes, honey, I got to do this because if I drive, it gets all over me. And she's like, if I don't drink a little bit out of it now, and I'm like, do it.
She's got a drinking problem. Oh, I knew I was gonna make Ralph laugh with that one. Hey,
nailed it.
what's the weirdest thing that somebody's done at where you're just like, what the hell? You got any weird ones? Like some crackheads walking in?
Oh yeah, we got crack. It's upstate New York, so there's a lot of meth. So there's always a townhead cracky coming in, or a townie crackhead.
What you got any I mean, I know when I was a kid, I was a punk. You ever catch anybody stealing?
No, and
and you don't look for it.
I don't really look for it as I don't have time because I'm dealing with customers and talking to them and ringing people up and whatever.
Do you have a glass thing in front of you?
Yeah, there's a glass protector, but it's just hanging from the ceiling and it's like a square to which I don't get.
Probably for maybe direct spit. Is that new? Is that from COVID or has that always been there?
No, those are new COVID enforced barriers, I guess.
What if the only protection from COVID was bulletproof glass?
Yeah. I've been trying to write COVID erotica since the last week. Just trying to mix it up right now.
Can you read anything for us? Anything you want to read?
It's on my thing. I wouldn't be able to. It's too early. You know what? Next week I promise. You know what? I'll promise that next week I'll read an excerpt from some of my COVID erotica.
Somebody should publish a book, or you should do it. Publish a book of COVID erotica, simply titled 19.
19. Barely lethal. Barely
lethal.
COVID-19. Oh, I just named it. COVID-19, barely lethal. It does have a low death rate. It sucks. It sucks because 400,000 in America is no joke. What is it? A couple million in the world now. It's no joke, and but populace wise, but it's still under it's a very low percentage. But
they took Larry King. Larry King's gone, man. This guy started a web show in his 80s. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Started a not even a regular show, a web show.
Didn't Hank Aaron just die too?
Hank Aaron died. I don't know much about Hank Aaron. He's a baseball guy, right? Baseball legend.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, he's the LL Cool J of baseball.
Holy shit!
Good explanation.
Thank you.
Holy shit! Let's think of different categories and think of who's the LL Cool J of this category. Who's the LL Cool J of basketball? Magic.
Cool J of basketball.
No. Will Chamberlain.
Will Chamberlain. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bill Russell. No. I'm gonna go Walt Clyde Frazier. Why him? Because he was sexy. Because he did win. Because when you talk about his position. He's in the argument, but never in the tops. You know what I'm saying? But he had a long, illustrious career. He's still relevant, but he's never considered the best. He's never considered the best.
I just had an argument about LL Cool J on Facebook the other day, as per what Baxter said, and I always thought LL Cool J was like forefront. Like you couldn't get more important. Like maybe only Rakim and Biggie and Jay-Z. Like
he's but he's never in the conversation. But he is super important, right? I mean, he did the first love song. He did the first rap love song. He was he had. I mean, he was doing rap battles that got popular. Like Mama Said Knock You Out, and what's the other one that he did with his other rap battle? But he is.
Oh, I love that song. Oh my god!
But I mean, you know hip hop better than me, so I almost feel like stupid talking to you about it. But I mean, he was one of the. He was Queens, right? He's
Queens.
Flatbush, right? No, he's Queens, right? I mean, he was early. I mean, he was huge. He was huge for a good run, right?
Yep.
I mean,
he was probably the biggest rapper in the world for maybe
8 years. Give it that long?
I don't know if it was 8. Well, let me see. When his first record came out, I was like 86, I think. So maybe it was like 8 years.
Too.
I don't think anybody knocked him out until I think he was reigning still even by the time Rakim and Kane were there. I think he was still the biggest. So I don't think he knocked anybody out until like Nas and Biggie showed up.
Just you're saying solo artist, right?
Yeah, as a solo artist. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, would you consider like Dougie Fresh or what's a British rapper with one eye? Why can't I think of his name?
Rick the
He's my
Slick
number
Rick.
2 favorite of all time.
Slick Rick. So I mean, Slick Rick, but he didn't have as long of a career, I guess. Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Just as a solo rapper, interesting. And how do you feel when have you ever partnered up? I know you've done some like collaborations, but were you ever in a rap group?
Well, I'm in a big collective called the Black God Pantheon, and I'm in a group, although we haven't done a record together in years. But, actually, we did. He was on my last album. He was on this past album, and he was on the album before that. And then he's in the movie for Trying to Get My Life Together, Mandela Eskia. I mean, I don't call us a group, but we work on everything together. I would say we're like Redman and Method Man, or Raekwon and Ghostface. Like we work on everything. We work on each other's things. We work on everything together. So I don't know that we're a group, but we definitely are always trying to work together.
Sounds like me and Sean.
Yeah. I'm not a group guy though. I like being in a collective, but I don't know. I don't know if I do well in a group. I don't even know if I like groups that much.
I don't. Yeah. Even though I mean, like I've done it because it's like I felt like I wanted to learn sketch or improv. Like I don't. That's why I got out of it. I don't. But like you said, I like being in collectives. I like the collaboration part. I like being part of a community.
Yes. Yeah.
But I don't like. It's weird.
Like stand-ups that are like two group, like twins. I don't know if I would like that. I like a singular voice, like Prince. He played every instrument. He did everything.
Did Prince play when he made an album? Did he play every instrument on the record?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The albums with the Revolution might have been a little different, but for the most part, he played everything all the time. He would even play everything like. I think he might have even played everything when he wrote songs for other people. Maybe they just reinterpreted them. I don't know, but yes, like I feel like I need to find a good Prince book to read. I've listened to tons of documentaries and interviews about him, but I feel like there's one book that came out. Let me see if Marianne's on. Hold on. We get our last guest coming in soon, hopefully.
Okay. I went to the doctor and guess what he told me?
Guess what he told me?
He said, boy, you better try to have fun no matter what you do. Fuck, I fucked it up. Sorry, I don't listen to that song that much. But he's a fool. He wrote that song, right?
Yeah, what song? But he's a fool. Oh, nothing compares
to you.
Nothing compares to you.
I do not like that song. I don't know why. Maybe because I just heard it so much at karaoke. That's a big karaoke.
I'd love to hear him do it.
Yeah. He does it. He does the best version. That song is a huge karaoke song. I don't know why.
I don't know why either. That sounds miserable. I hate to hear it karaoke.
There's so many songs that I've heard dozens of times, like and sung by just a civilian, not by the actual artist. But like I can't tell you how many times I've heard.
Next guest is here.
Oh, how many times I've heard? What the hell is the name of that song? The Queen song, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
I've heard it so many times. Here we go.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh my God, is that Prince and Bernie Sanders?
It is.
Respect. They're in the bathtub together.
Yeah, it's sensual. Marianne Bayard, everybody.
What's up, y'all?
Hi. What's up, Marianne?
Hi.
I don't know why I like saying it like that, but I do.
I like it. I like it too. Hi.
How do you like it said? Do you like Marianne?
No, Marianne.
Marianne, for sure.
He's perfect.
What are you up to this morning, Marianne?
Well, you know, I have many 12-step programs in my life. So I was finishing one on the Zoom and now I'm here. It's so perfect. It's a wonderful thing to be with beautiful people on Saturday morning. Life is good.
Oh, is that one of the people who's in the meeting?
Yes.
She's infecting you? Yeah.
She's infecting my body. Her name is Celine Dion.
Oh. I know
good.
you
It's
love...
like, I just want to say, like, I know I just jumped in on your meeting, but like, I just feel good. You know, it's like, life is good. Like, it's really cloudy here, but like it's good, right?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Were you always like that, Miriam? Were you always like happy and joyous about the morning and stuff like that? Are you a morning person?
Say, Papi, I've always been a morning person. Pretty much. I fucking love the morning. I live in Pittsburgh now. And it's kind of like New England, but it's very, very gray. I'm from New England. But like to get up in the morning and to go outside in like 30-degree weather and go for a walk and see people with their dogs and they're fucking happy, even though they have a mask on. I say hi to everybody. I love it.
Oh, that's so
I love morning. I think I'm a morning person, but I don't want to wake up. Like that's the weird thing. It's like I'd rather stay up till 3 a.m. and then sleep till noon. But when I wake up, I'm going to have a good time.
Well, there's no one way to do it. That's the beautiful thing, people.
Right?
There's so many possibilities. I'm getting hot. I'm so excited about talking about this.
We're taking off our shirts. Come on, everybody.
Oh, shit. Jason, are you a morning person?
Take off your shirts.
Are you a morning?
Yeah, I'm definitely a morning person. Like, as soon as the alarm goes off, I get up, boom. I can have like 2 hours of sleep or I can have like 8 hours of sleep. I'm still right up and got to do what I'm going to do. And all happy.
Got to get the coffee going on first, though, right?
Oh, fuck that. Got to get the real coffee going on first.
Oh, shit. Put that a corn cob pipe?
Wake and bake, Marianne. Wake and bake.
All right, I got high just before this too. Right before my 12-step group, first I got high, and I got my coffee. You know.
That's it. It's a 13 step.
It's
13
the 13
steps.
step. Get high first.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I don't know what it is, but I am so. I mean, I think I do know what it is because I don't know. There's so many celebrities that I follow who are like part of 12 Step, and I just am addicted to hearing them talk, which is strange. It's ironic, but
You
they're
need a
just like
12-step program, right?
yes, yeah,
Your
like
addiction.
Russell Brand or Craig Ferguson or who else is in that life? Steve-O from Jackass. They're just so inspiring.
Well, you know, if you fucked your life up real bad and then you found a solution, I feel like you got a nice story to tell. Like that can be an inspiring story.
Yeah,
Working on it. I'm working on it.
One day at a time, bro.
I'm working on fucking my life up.
Right, exactly. You're gonna get there. And then you're gonna find yourself where you know.
You're gonna no. She's saying you're gonna fuck up your life so bad that you're gonna need something, and then that's it.
And then you're
I like Lex that you just bailed on that right at the beginning.
Yeah,
you know what? I can't do this. Yeah. Oh man.
What were you guys talking about before I just totally bombed in on this meeting?
I don't remember.
This is what we do. Don't worry about it.
We're talking about karaoke. We're talking about karaoke. And,
karaoke, yeah. What's your go-to karaoke song, Marianne? Mine is "Hold On" by Wilson Phillips.
Oh, damn! Can I sing with you?
Yeah.
I would like to be I will be the blonde, beautiful one, if you don't mind.
All right. Well, let's sing. I haven't done it in a while. How does "Hold On" start
Hold
off?
on for one more day and you break free from the chains.
Just break free from one more day.
I know that there is pain, but you hold on for one more day and you break free right from the chains.
Yes.
What?
Sometime somebody's gonna tell you what.
Turn around and say goodbye.
Say goodbye.
Tell them, baby, are you gonna let them hold you down and make you cry? Don't you know?
Don't you know? Don't you know? Things will change. Things will go your way. If you hold on
one more day, yeah.
You guys are just making me think about, even though that song annoys me because I've heard it so many times, it is a nice song.
It's so good.
What you're making me think about is like, and this is a projection, which I'm known to do, but like, you know, I'd be at bars at these seedy dive bars every night, you know, hosting karaoke, and everybody's on coke and drinking and trying to pick up girls, and they think they're out there like living it and doing it. And really, to me, every night I was hosting karaoke, I was like, you guys are just a church. Like people keep coming back, and you're just here to sing with each other, like these silly songs all together, and like, you know what I mean? Like no matter how edgy or like people are like nightlife, it's like everybody's just trying to get to church.
Y'all just want to sing together.
Yeah,
I love that.
Jay, do you remember Mike's Place? There was Mike's Place, and I think it was like Friday or Saturday night. There's a bar on Long Island, east end of Long Island, where it was like a local to Jay. I had to drive to him. There was me and Jay and a couple other friends would go there.
It was like around the corner.
I mean, we were friends with like everybody, the staff. And so every once in a while we'd go there when they had a karaoke night. And was it Major Bob? There was a guy named Major Bob do you remember Major Bob?
Yeah. No. No,
All
I'm
right.
thinking
We played Golden Tee Golf.
Yes, I remember that.
He had all the records of Golden Tee Golf, and he would also sing "I Got Friends in Low Places" almost every time they had karaoke. And one time I sang the song before he got to, and he was so pissed. He was so pissed. I thought he was going to get banned because he was more regular than I was.
People who are really into karaoke, I actually do not like karaoke because it's like, come on, y'all. Like it's amateur.
It's fair.
But,
yeah, it's fair.
You know, people, it is like, I love what you said, Ralph. Like, it's like, come on, y'all. You just want to sing together. You just want to sing together. And that is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I don't know. I know a couple of people that do karaoke, and I'm like, why aren't you like singing like professionally?
For real.
don't think I think a lot of like people, sometimes people would show up with that agenda, like, let me show off how good I can sing. And like, that always would stir the room up for sure. Like, especially if you're really good, like, but nothing is better than, okay, this is the best thing. Somebody who's really good at singing, who is only there because they love the song. They don't care if you think they're good or not. They're just like, they just want to get up and party and enjoy the song. Nothing is better than that. And then the one thing that's better than that is somebody who's a terrible singer, who's like, fucking going for it.
They still go for it because they're having fun
and loving it. Like, I don't know, from watching years and years of it, it's sort of like, it's like watching movies versus like, it's like watching hundreds of movies versus seeing hundreds of movies get made. So like, what it actually is that people want versus like people who are just visiting. They're just like, yeah, what song am I going to sing or whatever. And I would tell people, they were like, what song should I sing? And I would sing your favorite song. And they don't believe me. They just think I'm giving them a pat answer, which it is a pat answer, but like, nothing is going to be as exciting to the room as you singing your favorite song. It's impossible. Like,
I mean, that goes for all things artistic. Like, nothing as exciting as you doing the thing that makes you totally bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
How fun is that to see you love the thing you are doing?
Yeah.
It's the best thing in the world, right? To watch somebody do something they love.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Marianne was trained as a clown trained performer, which is like, for actors, that's considered these days like very high kind of training.
High level.
Yeah. And Marianne trained with like probably the best known living clown trainer, Philippe Gaulier, which I think is he's in England, not in France, right?
Yeah.
No, that was in France.
That was in France. Okay. Yeah. How, by the time you got to him, did you already know this kind of stuff that we're talking about? Or was he like saying it and you're like,
no, you know what? I went to go study with him when I was 26, and I had been living in New York for 3 years trying to hack it as an actor, and couldn't figure out how to be skinny enough or pretty enough or this or that or whatever enough. So a friend suggested go study with this clown guy in Paris, which I knew nothing about, and asked my daddy for 20 G's, and I went. And, it was like the most bizarro. I had no idea what I was doing. And the biggest, and I'm sure I've told you this, Ralph, but the biggest thing that I got away from it or took away from it was like, be yourself, do the thing you love. And that's what we love to watch. And so when you go home with that, it took me a bunch of years to finally to own that. You got to grow up too, to like accept yourself and be like, okay, I guess this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. But then it's like freedom. And it's like in anything you do, comedy, acting, every audition I go on, it's like, girl, bring me. And that's what I have. And so, it was incredibly difficult and incredibly abstract in many ways. And I would never be a clown teacher like you. And I have no interest in performing in circus or any of this kind of stuff. That's not even what we did. But it's how do I approach acting, and how do I approach my art in my life?
It's crazy, yeah. Because I know like he's like notoriously very harsh and like mean. I think he like calls people stupid and hits them.
Yeah. Stupid, and I mean it's really
That's so funny.
It's very confusing. And he doesn't explain the rules. Like you're supposed to do like this improv in front of a class of 40 people. And like, English is kind of the common language. And he's like, show me you're walking into a bar and you have a beer. I say, I want un beer. And like you do it. And he's like, oh, Marianne, she's horrible. And he bangs the drum. Isn't Marianne horrible? And everyone's like, yes. They're encouraged to say yes. And like, do we want to feed Marianne to all of the piranhas? Yes, yes. Like, why do I suck? Why do I suck? I was so good, I thought.
That's super, super fun. I mean, I don't know if I would hate it or love it. It sounds torturous.
I think you go home and cry, but you're like, wow, I see some really beautiful things when people are allowing themselves to do their joyful thing on stage. You're like, oh yeah, this is the magic.
Is that
Yeah,
what
I
you,
forget
is that
that
what
part
it
of
is?
it.
Is that what it is? You're seeing, you get to see the, because I know it's hard to analyze your own self, especially when you're performing, right? But you're seeing other people getting better, so you know you're just hoping that it's working for you as well.
Yes. That's the only way you stick around. You're like, well, she's getting it. No, you're seeing the magic happen. You're seeing the layers come down and something beautiful, true come out. You're like, okay, if she's doing it, there's got to be a chance for me. And it
You
does.
just said, sorry, because you got me excited. But to see you say see the layers come down. So I mean, that's what it is. That what he's just trying to talk. Talk about that.
Exactly. But he doesn't tell you this. So you come in at 26 and you're like, oh, I'm supposed to memorize these lines and do a beautiful play. And he doesn't tell you. He's like, is she horrible? And you're like, I don't get it. But you can see it in the others when they start to stop trying so hard. You see something different they hadn't pre-planned, all of a sudden and you're like, you get goosebumps.
Yeah.
But no one fucking tells you. And that's kind of his way, which is, like Ralph, you said, like clown teachers, they do different ways. And like, this happens to be his way. And it'll crush you if you don't have a little bit of inner strength, or it can totally fire you up if that's the way that you work. And then whatever's in between.
Sorry, because I'm so curious about this. Ralph, you should probably ask more questions because you know the clown world. But as a novice, sorry.
That building touching?
I heard something, but I'm on the 27th floor, but it sounded like somebody was right behind me, so it freaked me out. But what you're talking about, Marianne, sounds like acting class. I know clowning is that, but like, is that what you went? And I know you were an actress, but like, I just didn't think. I'm not thinking when I hear clown. When I would go to learn clowning, I wouldn't think about acting. So, can you help me understand that more?
Yeah, and Ralph, you can jump in too. Like, for this particular style, it's not circus, it's not Ringling Brothers, it's not learning tricks, it's not. I was there for 9 months. So each month was a different course of study. So the first month is like you learn how to play games and you don't even get any text yet. And then the next month, I think it's, I don't even remember. It's mask. And so you're learning how to be in your body and to not use your face and how to, all these kinds of things. And then you start to have some things with text. So yes, the ultimate, it's a way to approach acting, or physical, acting, entertaining, speaking to an audience. It can be as grotesque as, a huge clown outfit, whatever that means to you. Or it can just be how you get into the scene for an actor. There were TV actors there from LA, and then there were like, street performers from UK and Spain, whatever. So like, it's just how you turn up the volume, you turn it down, how do you use it? But really it's like, how do you bring yourself to stage in stand-up or comedy, whatever too, so that the audience can see you and then like delight in you telling your stupid joke or, being a character because you are so delighted in it by playing a bad guy or by playing this dramatic role or by telling a story. It's wild, but this guy doesn't give you any clues. I mean, this is, 20 years later, 15 years later, 12 years later.
It's so funny because it's like, I mean, you say as a novice, Lex, but like,
don't jump, Lex.
I always feel like, oh shit. I always feel like it's so weird that improvisers should really be encouraged to do clown because they fit so well together, especially like, like Alex, I don't know how much teaching you ever did, but I'm sure you could watch like young improvisers and you can tell the difference between somebody trying to prove something or somebody who's just there to have fun. You know what I mean? Yes. That's always like super, super apparent. And it's pretty much the same thing in clown, I think. Like, and the only thing is, it's like, you just take for granted how long it takes to, like, I always think about, I want to ask you this, man, again, and also I want to end on talking about Mirrors and Caps, but like to me, it like really, what really struck me is how it translated to me socially, or how much it resonated with me. Like I've said this all my life, or for most of my life, and I really feel this way. Like it bothers me when I meet people that I'm not meeting the person they are right when they wake up in the morning. You know what I mean? Like that. You know what I mean? Stumbling like that person, it bothers me that I don't meet that person, that I meet the person who's all like, hello.
The presentation.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't, and I know why that is, and it's fair, but like, I'm like, yeah, but the person who just wakes up is probably funnier. They're probably easier to be around. They're probably more relaxed. Like, even if they're a little annoyed, at least they're being themselves. But like, this person is like, that person is hard to know, you know, and that's the thing with the clown. It's like you can't know the person who's prepared and has the good ideas. You can only know the person who's like, I don't know what I'm doing. What do I do with my hand? You know what I mean? You can only really know that person. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, society, right? Like we have to function in the world. And that was part of why they say, like, you know, I mean, Philippe would say, take the whole course, take the 9 months with me. Of course, that's I mean, he's going to make more money. But two, you're in this world of, you've built these months of going to class where you're like letting down your guard. So you can start to find something a little bit new. It's, you know, yeah, it's like dropping the bullshit and allowing yourself to see what else might really be there. And really only in like an incubated space like that, or an improv class that you go to often and you challenge yourself. It's not just about being smart and witty, or an acting class. Can you start to find that and build trust? I mean, it's trusting people too, and trusting your coach, and trusting your peers, and trusting your instincts.
So now what are you doing with all that stuff now?
What's that?
What are you doing with all that stuff now, with all that clown training? And
you know, so I have a web series that we have one web series called Killing It that's on Amazon Prime that I've written with my comedy partner, Jonathan Kaplan.
J Caps.
And then we have this other show called Mares and Caps that we wrote a whole series for, and we shot a pilot, and we're doing some rewrites of it now. But, you know, I also think that like it takes time to grow up. Like one thing that Philippe would say, it's like the best clowns are like in their 40s and 50s and like older. Like it takes time to get to know and to be yourself, and then to start to own it so that you can find the joy and the fun in it in whatever way you do your work. So like as an actor and as a creator, it's like I'm willing to take more risks because I'm not 25 trying to find a husband, trying to figure out my life, trying to do this, that, and whatever. I'm like, I'm a little bit, okay, this is my life now. All right. I don't know. I mean, it takes time. You got to grow up and you keep developing all along. But my experience, I mean, we're all about the same age, I imagine. Like, it's just getting better. Because like we believe there's some more, there's not that question of like, what do they think? What do they think? What do they think? It's like, shut the fuck up. Do what you know.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes. Yeah.
I still struggle with some insecurities once in a while, but more so than not, I'm getting better with that. And I also, whoa. Can I say I forgot that that's who you are? Like, because I love John Caps. I just realized who you are. Like while you were telling me that. Not to talk about him too much, but
he is great.
You guys are great. You guys are so great. And now I realize who I'm talking.
Take it for granted.
I smoke a lot. Marianne.
It's good, bro.
Marianne,
the Long Island reference.
You?
What's that?
Yeah.
How can we find you?
You can find me on maresandcaps.com. Just spell it all out. You can find us on YouTube. We have a channel that's called Mares and Caps. So that's caps with a K. MARES and KAPS. You know,
check out Killing It, please. I love that show so much.
It's our first series. It's on Amazon Prime. I think it's free. And you know, Instagram and shit.
Yeah, you could see some what's the mom, the drunk, is it drunk mom or
she's crazy. I have a character, crazy delusional mom, and then I also have a character called Martha. And then I also have this new show called Mom's Show Review, where I review shows that have hot guys in it.
Oh, yes.
Like
Brilliant.
the spot.
Brilliant.
All right, Marianne. Well, we love you. We'll
Yeah.
say bye, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to finally get to talk to you in person because I am a fan and you're great.
Oh, let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Oh, I want to mention
Okay,
also that
bye.
the Mares and Caps pilot won a bunch of like awards at a bunch of TV festivals.
They're great. They really are.
Oh, thanks, Fun with Lex.
All
Thank you.
right,
All
man.
right,
Bye.
no problem.
We love
Thank
you. See you soon.
Thanks, Ralph.
Strong Island in the house.
Hell yes.
All right.
So we got like
Well,
5
guys,
minutes
I know we
left.
have a little time. Not much, but I mean, 5 minutes. I'll say it early. This is a great episode. I really
fun.
enjoyed it. I feel like I learned a lot. It was educational.
Grew.
It's
It
fun.
was fun.
Yeah.
Lex,
This
you
was
got
a good
anything
time.
coming up like this week? Are there any shows coming up or anything like that? No.
I am
Locked down.
like, I feel like my creativity is like Ralph's van.
It's breaking down.
You need a
Broken
new
down.
Did you figure out if you could get on Clubhouse or not?
Did you send me?
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
were
get a
supposed to send
link
us
or
links.
anything like that.
You have an iPhone?
I do.
No.
Oh fuck! I'm gonna send you an invite. I have more invites left. I'm gonna send you one, Lex.
Yeah,
I thought I
please.
did
Because I would want to do it. I just didn't want to.
because I'm trying to figure out how to
Bobby,
do
but I'm
improv shows
so interested
on
in listening to that.
Clubhouse.
Yeah.
I want to figure out how to do that, like, because I think it'd be great to do like some audio improv on there.
I'm down.
And if I had like,
Before we
that?
cut out, I also want to plug Sean's show for next Friday.
yes,
Sean's
Next Friday.
doing the best 10 minutes of his life.
Who's
both have
watched
heard
it
it.
already? Who's
I've
watched
seen
it
it
already?
It's great.
We've all seen it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's honestly good. It's honestly it's worth it. I mean, it's worth way more than what he's charging too. So I hope people go and watch it.
Go to Everbright or Eventbrite and
Where's the link? Let me see if I can put the
reserve a
link in
ticket.
our comments right now while I'm here. Hold on. Let me see if I can keep talking. I'm gonna see if I can put the link.
I'll say this too, is I'm gonna make I'm gonna start switching off of my phone. I'm just saying this to any listeners who watch this, watchers and listeners I'm gonna also start not doing this off of my phone, but off of my laptop. So I'm gonna try to interact. Because Sean's the only one who does it as much as who checks the messages, but I'm gonna try to start being more interactive in this show. So I'm going to encourage anybody who watches this show, especially if they've gotten this far, to not be afraid to start commenting, because I'm going to make a strong effort to be involved in trying to build a community around Stoner Morning Show. That's my new commitment to you guys and to the viewers at home.
And hey, hit us up on the comments. We might let you on the show and hang out with us. So
well, that's what I'm talking about. It's not just us. We look like we're alone, but we're not. There's hundreds of people, sometimes thousands of people who watch us.
You inspired me, Lex. I'm gonna make a commitment to be more involved in my son's life.
Yeah. Wait, you have a son?
I
love it.
Yes.
Hey, man, and I know I say it, but it's again. I was cleaning my apartment yesterday or the day before, and I had your album on, and my friend came to visit, and he was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "This is my friend. This is a great rapper from Brooklyn." And I was telling him about the concept, and he was. I love that. I've never put your music in front of somebody else and them not love it. You're great. My mom hates you. I'm sorry, my mom hates you.
Oh, well, okay.
She said he's not allowed in the house.
That's only because your mom's not a Biggie fan.
I'm a nice dinner guest, you know.
Yeah. Well, my mom's, their family's from Queens, so they just got some rivalry going.
Oh shit.
That Brooklyn Queens thing.
That's what it is. Well, yeah, Stoner Morning Show. We got our OnlyFans up. Check us out there. And yeah, check out my album at preciousgorgeousrock.com. My thing's been there the whole time. And check out Sean's show on the 29th. Buy tickets. There's a link in the comments.
He's on Spotify too. He has albums on Spotify.
Sean Wickens.
And Jason is a gas attendant. So if you ever want to buy yodels.
He's a fucking manager. Let's put some respect on his name.
No.
Yeah.
Respect.
But we love you guys, and we will be back next Saturday.
The less responsibility I have, the better.
And you know what? I'll throw out that we just did. If you didn't see it, we did an Asheville Fringe Festival on Thursday. And,
yeah, that was awesome.
We posted it, but it was a good show. But also, it's still going on, I believe. So
yeah,
if anybody wants to go check that out.
But until next time, guys, we love you. We'll see you next Saturday morning. Bye. Peace.